The test is called DART, and these says you'll be given a series of numbers and letters. You are to remember and add together the last two numbers you were given. A, B, C, D, 4, Z, X, M, 8, and Q, 7. At the same time, you watching crossing your sector. Those three are in collision with others. You're advising them to go higher.
So, how are
Very well. Very well.
you? I was going to say, you just put yourself on mute. So just waiting for a few extras to join us.
Morning, Mr.
Morning. Just a couple of things. If you don't mind, all obviously heading on to mute. But can you all just send me an individual message, just confirming who you are if you haven't identified yourself? Just so I can tick people off the list and don't wait unnecessarily for people. So if you just go chat function, click Alistair, and then send me a quick message. It'll be great. Cheers. Won't be long. Morning and all. Thanks very much for your patience. I think we've pretty much got everybody on board. Housekeeping, just to make it run as smoothly as possible here. If you can ensure you put mute. I've got my assistant Andrea here muting people as well. So if you could, we can make sure we do it for you. So first of all, we're going to have questions obviously at the end. We'll endeavour to try and take some questions as we go through. If you just simply select, is it Momentum, is it? Inside the screen, you get a chat function. If you just simply select either self or and then just simply add a question there, we'll endeavour to answer it as we go along, or alternatively, we'll cover that off at the end. So I'm joined today by Nicholas Brand, who is Account Director from FMG, and Matthew Lees, who is Business Development Manager at FMG as well. For those of us in Newbury and Birmingham, you would have had the pleasure of meeting these two gentlemen before. For those who haven't, a couple of nice guys, and they've got a bit to add as we go through. So, moving quickly along. One of the things which we've heard over the last sort of 6 to 12 months is a lot of frustrations in regards to the way claims are managed by some of our insurer partners. On the there you can see a couple of quotes which came through on LinkedIn from actually a couple of your colleagues, and it's in their frustration. As you can see from the amount of comments and the likes, obviously there was quite a bit of commentary and feeling from other people in regards to suffering similar issues. One which Hazel and myself have both looked at independently actually for the last 2 to 3 years, me and my prior life, not my private, but my prior life, and also Hazel before I joined Momentum, is trying to find a solution in regard to how we look at motor claims generally speaking. I probably appreciate there's a lot of facilities and systems that which are very keen to help with claims, but at the time they're very much driven around profiteering as opposed to providing a genuine value to the end customer. And ultimately that's what we're trying to fulfill here. So what are into motor claims? A lot of information there on the page obviously, but just trying to summarise some of the key bits and pieces here. Cradle to grave handling facility, which is notification of loss right through to settling the claim, whether it's either by repairs or ultimately a total loss if that sort of scenario eventuates. It's going to support us across all motor product classes. And I say all motor product classes, there are an exception, and that exception being standalone special types. I'm not talking about special types that are with larger fleet, standalone special types. We've probably got about 10 places in the UK, across the UK, so it shouldn't really be too much of a concern there. That is all claims regardless of what type of claims the client suffered, whether it be a simple no-end shunt, theft, loss, or watering claim. In fact, and see by a pretty extensive network of repairers, so over 500 repairers across the UK and Northern Ireland. The number is going to continue to grow as and when additional repairs come in, specifically in the sort of smart and the same-day repair space. One of the queries we had initially here with this facility was making sure that obviously the quality of repairs is there. Please also know that it's obviously backed by a 3-year warranty. We talk about updates. Once again, to get updates from claims on claims from insurers can be quite a laborious task in regards to picking up the phone, sitting for a half an hour or sitting on hold music to get yourself in a position where you can understand what is and what isn't happening. The big thing which FMG provides is live updates via an internet portal which you'll have access to. So you'll be able to see the up-to-date position for every one of your claims that FMG is handling on your behalf. Back with the free legal expenses policy. As at the moment, we traditionally have used ALPS to provide legal expenses. It is a tricky process in regards to logging onto an ALPS website to bind cover, then put the add-on within the policy with an access, and then ultimately then forwarding all the relevant documentation through to the client. This is effectively an embedded legal expenses policy that will be in all the documentation that is issued by our actress. I think it comes down to the fact that it is the market leader in outsourced claims management. As I mentioned previously, we've looked at numerous other models to see when can't support us in regards to what we're trying to achieve here. And no doubt FMG comes out tops. So, I'm now going to pass you over to Matthew Lees, who, as mentioned before, is a business development manager at FMG. He'll talk through exactly what the FMG proposition is and why clearly they are the right choice for Momentum and for you, our brokers.
Thank you, Alistair. Yes, good morning all. On behalf of Nicholas and I and FMG, thank you for giving us some of your time today. Just going to take you through initially the FMG lines in terms of the credentials of our organisation. We've been in this space slightly over 30 years now. We're established in 1986. Currently manage over 400,000 vehicles across our kind of different client sectors, and I'll talk to you momentarily on how that's kind of split, which equates to somewhere in the region of 160,000 claims per year, which everything we'll talk about includes obviously a fault and non-fault proposition. So the 160,000 is the total claims number. We work with a number of large key fleet insurers with high levels of delegated authority in place, and it goes through practically the process of claims management on top of the benefit that will derive for your policy holders. Everything we do is managed in-house. There's never any element of what we do which is outsourced or offshore at all. It's a full 24/7 proposition. So regardless of the time of day, time of year in which your policy holders may call through an instant to us, rest assured the quality of service will be exactly the same. As I may have already mentioned, in external accreditation and benchmarking, not only is our repair network of the high standards in terms of being 10125, previously PAS 10125 accredited, but we've also got a number of ISO accreditations which dictate our internal processes, information security, data security and quality management. So again, rest assured from a benchmarking accreditation perspective, we are industry leading. This slide to share with you the kind of names in both the insurer space, the direct fleet space and the leasing company space that we operate in. Some of you may be familiar with FMG. However, our business is operated on a kind of white labelled, over-branded proposition, as will be the case with the Momentum claims handling solution. So, for example, if you are a QBE multi-fleet policy, you will come through to FMG, albeit handled as QBE kind of branded. The leasing companies, which has been our kind of traditional marketplace, we are Alphabet Accident Management, we are LeasePlan Accident Management, those others that you can see there. And a bit of our incident management business is operated on a direct fleet basis where we contract directly with the household names you can see there, such as npower and Kia. This is designed to take you through the journey of what happens from the point the incident occurs through to the reporting process and all the associated steps up until ultimately the vehicle is returned back to the policyholder, and any additional activities including our management information capabilities. The Ethanol Service Centre, the first notification of loss, will be a dedicated Momentum broker claims management team. It's a 24/7, 365 operation. And our process is designed really initially to ensure that the vehicle and the driver is safe and secure in which to report the call to us. And then we'll capture all the details associated with that particular claim. The driver details, the vehicle, the policy that sits behind, the circumstances, any third-party details or witness details. That is populated on our internal systems, which is called Ingenium, which is the next step in the process. And Ingenium's main purpose really is to triage those circumstances which have been reported to us, with a view to making sure the next steps are delivered with as much efficiency and swiftness as possible. That is assigning the most appropriate repair methodology, and that is driven by minimising repair costs, but also minimising vehicle downtime and inconvenience to your policyholders. In practice, that could mean it's gone through to one of our mobile repairers, which could be an office or home location where repairs are completed, or it could then go into our fixed network if the mobile body shops isn't going to be a suitable option. Once the repair is authorised and assigned to that particular repair, the partner will then submit an estimate and all associated images, costs and detailed descriptions through to our house engineers team. All the associated images, all the associated costs are visible on the client and Momentum broker portal, which you can be provided access to. So it really full transparent view of all the details we capture on behalf of your policyholder. Then give any level of delegated authority to our repair partners. That the remit of our in-house engineers team is to review each and every estimate which comes back through to ensure that the appropriate repair methodology, the appropriate labour costs, and the appropriate repair versus replace kind of decisions have been made. One that we're scrutinising each estimate as it comes through, potential saving costs where appropriate, and ensuring that the kind of ship is of the highest standards. We in place once the repair is authorised, and where our relationships with the insurers is particularly important. So we have delegated authority with AIG, QBE, and high levels of delegated authority with a number of other key insurers. This means we don't have to wait for their authorisation before we can proceed with repair. When we have the repair authorisation in place with an existing insurer, the system Ingenium that I mentioned before generate a task to chase the insurance authorisation by the insurer. So rest assured, regardless if it is one of those key insurers that I mentioned or is another insurer, the team will be actively managing the downtime, which includes the insurance authorisation process. Repair is authorised by ourselves and the insurers. We will then keep track very closely of each repair as it goes through the repair process. So the body systems we have a direct link with, they have to update the status of each vehicle at least twice a day or with any significant piece of product, which then again is also pushed out to your online portal. So effectively in real time, you'll be able to log on, search by vehicle registration, policy number, and then see exactly where in the repair process that vehicle is up to. In procedure, the policyholder will be required to pay the excess and the relevant VAT, and the level of excess costs will be billed straight through to the insurer. So upon collection of the vehicle, for clarity, the policyholder will pay the relevant excess and VAT, and all of the costs will be managed directly with the insurer. In the case of non-fault circumstances or even split liability, there will be a task assigned for our loss recovery teams to look to recuperate any losses incurred as a result of the claim, which typically be the driver excess, but also potential loss of use or other heads of claims lost as a result of the incident. One mention this far is the replacement vehicle solutions. All body shops will have a free of charge courtesy car available. Where that's not appropriate, we also have a non-fault replacement service which will provide genuine like-for-like replacement vehicle at no cost to the client in the case of non-fault circumstances. Again, before I move on to our reporting procedures instead of our online offering, we also have approval from Allianz, AIG and QBE to capture third parties. So where your policyholder has been involved in an incident that is your policyholder's fault and a third party has been involved, we have the pre-agreed authority from those insurance partners to try to capture the third party and repair their vehicles on behalf of your policyholder and their insurer, effectively saving them money by controlling the repair costs and the replacement vehicle costs rather than leaving that to the third party's insurer. And through to the reporting icon, you can see there, every well I've spoken about in terms of that process is accessible and reportable in our online tool, screenshots which I'll share with you momentarily. Next indication of the type of detail you'll see on the online portal. See that it links straight through to a Google Street View, so you can see exactly where the incident took place. The incident details headlines in terms of the location, the vehicle, the circumstances and the driver. You'll start to see the image and any associated claim documents, which could also include the text estimates online via the portal, so you can quickly get a full transparent view of the exact damage which has occurred. The panel can see the status of each repair as it goes through different steps of the repair process. Any repair costs that have been authorised and estimated and agreed will also start to be populated on the claim view, and any additional instant details, including third-party claims, are also accessible. And then one FMG heavily invested in the last 12 to 18 months is our online offering in terms of a holistic kind of view of claims activity per client and per broker partner. So you have access to this dashboard, which will enable you to filter by potential date parameters and also policyholder parameters and return all the associated claims activity for the policyholder for that client within that particular period. Couple examples you can see there, and things highlighted cases where claims are going through the repair process. So quite intuitively, you can see claims that have incurred a larger repair cost or a larger vehicle off-road time, and get to the specific details behind each of these visual diagrams you can see here. You click and interrogate each of the graphs and return the specific claims which sit behind as a native way of searching for claims rather than using the search function which I've already demonstrated. You splits on fault and non-fault, and also there's a large degree of reporting facility here. So if you wanted to provide a report, policyholder per client on average vehicle off-road time or average repair costs, that can be from a self-service function through the portal.
A quick break from going through the presentation just to take a couple of questions that have come through. And we have our Scottish friend Don Campbell on, so I have to sort of vet the choice of language used. But one of the questions that came through was, I usually channel all claims through me in the first instance that I know that when it has been notified, correct info gathered, and obviously the correct information in regards to date of births and any potential objections to validation. So one of the things which we haven't touched on as yet is the fact that Momentum will be providing a data feed to FMG on a weekly basis, which will provide all the information in regards to each of the policyholders that are currently in force with Momentum. As that process, then there is, in the event of a claim, FMG will effectively email us. We've agreed a quick turnaround time within a matter of hours to actively validate that on your behalf. So what we will do is provide them a copy of schedules, the endorsements in regards to driver restrictions or otherwise. So that's the first thing for that. The second, once again from Don, was our courtesy vehicles guaranteed at the repairers. Often they try to wiggle out of providing them. I'll get Nicholas to answer that one. Nicholas has been going to be a bit quiet in this presentation.
The previous one, Jen, he takes it so he knows he's taken a claim, etc. Just so he'll get notification.
Sorry, apologies. Good point there from Nicholas. I think too on that first question, Don, is that as part of the validation process, when a claim has been notified to FMG, an email will be sent to you giving you all the in regards to the loss that has occurred. So apologies for missing that. The courtesy cars guaranteed.
Yes, of our shop network, as you can imagine, we generate somewhere in the region of around 70,000 repairs across the UK. So we know from our repair partners to from that volume of repairs, they are contractually obliged to be able to provide courtesy vehicles at the point. Some of our repairers also have courtesy vans, and that's probably something we'll see increase on. But certainly from a courtesy car perspective, yes, assured that those will be provided in all circumstances.
Right, Stephen Pugh, thanks for your couple of questions. I'll cover these off in the next couple of slides. So, thanks. So, what benefits for you and your clients? I mean, to be fair, they set quite nice as the benefits for you and for your clients. So, the thing is, there's one contact number for all your motor clients. So, you can call an 0344 number, I think it is, which is free from a mobile phone. They call through, no matter what claim you've got, no matter what insurer they're with, and in fact will make your I suppose process of helping your clients navigate claims processes very, very simple. It's an enhanced claims handling service. You know, there's no sitting on hold for 30 to 40 minutes like many of you have told us that you're doing from time to time. I mean, ultimately, it's a claims team that works with you and for you to help to ensure that your clients get prompt and fair claims support. Touched on earlier about the ISO accreditation, amongst numerous other qualifications and accreditations. FMG are very, very much set in the right place in regards to be able to handle this business for us. The embeddings we've done a product comparison between the existing ALPS product that we currently use and obviously the new product to give you some sort of reassurance around that. The Legal product provided by FMG is provided legal and AmTrust, which effectively is the ALPS product that you currently deal with on a day-to-day basis. Something like this, making sure that you've got a repairer that's close to hand is always important for you and your clients. With over 500 repairers UK-wide, including Northern Ireland coverage, pretty much got the country covered. One of the things which we did raise with them, we're obviously a little bit concerned in regards to some of the remote locations around the country and regards to how that is managed. Do a vehicle pickup and redelivery service for repairs that are undertaken. So once again, having the client with obviously the supply courtesy vehicle and make sure that they've got wheels and everything works as slickly as possible. Is complete visibility on claims progress and ensuring that you don't have to psych yourself up, make yourself a cup of tea, and sit yourself down with your legs up on the desk and prepare yourself for half an hour wait or talking to a insurer. You just simply log into a portal on the internet and it'll give you an up-to-date position on all of your claims. We say it's live. I think there's about a 12 to 15 minute delay, but it's pretty much completely up to date. Warranty on the repairs we touched on before. I think the final one, which is quite an important thing, we talk about vehicle off-road time controlled and reduced costs. Normally reduced costs means lack of quality repairs or costs being cut. But eventually, when we know how important our clients' claims experience is, it's important that obviously we have the MI to understand how insurers deal with claims, how quickly respond, and making sure that we use the MI to ultimately help make decisions in regards to the best insurers for you and your clients.
Talked around the systems, the processes, technology and the network infrastructure FMG has in place. And I think we discussed this at the previous roadshow events we've done. We absolutely recognise that your clients, your policyholders are your most valuable asset. So there will be parts of the process potentially where these queries that come through, where we will certainly leverage the relationships that you've got, and we recognise the trust you need to put in place at FMG to service those valuable assets effectively. So please don't see this as a distinct approach to your existing relationships. Our certain kind of mantra and kind of approach to this will be to utilise the relationships you've got across your businesses to the benefit of your clients.
Moving on, we talk about what changes are there to client documents. I think it's what changes are there for you, and probably a wider sense. But if we look at the documentation first, the legal expenses cover is going to be embedded in the risk registers. Initially, this will be done by a separate document that will be sent to you with the renewal documentation or the new business documentation. It will be embedded over the next few weeks into Acturus, so into the risk registers. So there's absolutely nothing additional you need to do. There'll be an update to the TOBA, obviously to reflect the GDPR requirements in regards to the sharing of information. But that's just commonplace, as you probably all expect. So in regard to what it actually means to you on a day-to-day basis, very, very little. What it means to the broking team here is obviously when we've got an ALPS product in place, we clearly won't be renewing that. And when there is embedded legal expenses, we'll endeavour to remove those for obvious reasons. You don't obviously want to have dual insurance in place. Principally is what it's going to mean to you from a day-to-day point of view in regards to how the documentation will look and feel. Moving on to marketing support and what we'll provide there. So obviously, the first is bump card to drivers. Make sure that we provide you a supply of those which can be handed out to your clients when you see them or post it out with any documentation. Very, very simple credit card size form that when in the event of an accident, similar to the above, store in the glove box or wherever else they like to store it in the car. Obviously helps to remind the driver in the unfortunate event of an accident of what information they need to obtain. Introducing Momentum Motor Claims mailer for your clients. So we are in the process of pulling together a document which effectively you can send out to all your clients. Will effectively spell the benefits out of what this motor claims proposition is and how it will benefit them and how they can utilise it with immediate effect. That we can and will be branded to your appropriate brokerage. For anyone's knowledge, they probably all know it. I'm not an underwriter by apart from us. My background has very, very much been from a claims point of view. Hence the reason we're very, very keen to make sure that FAQs cover off all potential scenarios and things that potentially can go wrong, and you can understand exactly sort of the flow of information, the flow of the process in regards to managing the claim. We're probably just in excess of 50 odd different FAQs at the moment, which we will share with you very, very shortly once it's properly checked over and is fit for purpose. Which we are doing is face-to-face meetings with FMG. It's really, really important, obviously, that you're at FMG and make sure you've got comfort in regards to what they do on a day-to-day basis and making sure that you've got the confidence to obviously sell that on to you and your clients. So from that point of view, if you would like to spend some time with FMG face-to-face, then please do let me know and we can facilitate that for you sooner rather than later. And then the thing is, bespoke claim service for large fleets. So fleet in excess of 30 vehicles, a multitude of things which FMG can do to support them in regards to bespoke reporting and helping them manage things on a day-to-day basis. So what we're up to is we're looking at going live from September. So all new actress documentation will be issued and in place for the 1st of September. What I want to stress is we're not talking to September renewals, we're just talking business that will be transacted from the 1st of September onwards. All clients will have legal expenses policy put in place with FMG from the 1st of September. Also, some of you may want to tell your clients about the fact that that's in place, especially when they do not have current legal expenses policy in place. We do not see that as paramount as an absolute necessity on the basis that it's free of charge. If you want to talk about that a little bit more, let me know, but please be assured that every motor client will have an FMG motor legal expenses policy in place from 1st of September. I think it's a good news story to share with your clients. So as we said, we've got the mailer that we're pulling together for you, which you can share with your clients. And obviously we'll get that to you well in advance to make sure that you can customise that and make sure it's fit for purpose for what you want to send out to your clients and through from there. Login details are provided for the claims portal. So what we've done is we've looked at the director or owner of each business and used them as the first port of call for login details. Where employ staff or additional staff, contact will either have already been made or will be made in regard to the right people within your business to use that. Finally, FMG will come and visit you. If you want to visit, just simply let us know. The funds of the FMG proposition is that it is free of charge to you and your clients. Now, obviously, from that point of view, that there is obviously a cost of running this service, and the claim is effectively fed and supported financially two things. They get there's a rebate that is payable on the repair costs of the vehicles. I want to stress that whilst the people think rebates and the rest of it will take the total cost of the repairs over and above what insurers want to pay, I assure you that's far from the truth and is not challenged by the insurers in that respect. The second area where there is a financial benefit for this is via credit hire, and obviously clients been put into credit hire. Now, FMG effectively pay Momentum a rebate on what's payable in rest of those two income streams, and that will be shared with each of ours accordingly based on the volume of claims. Now, that's an encouragement for you to have more claims, but you understand effectively how it operates and works. So the fundamentals are for this to make it a real success is to make sure that the vehicles that are going into the FMG claim system are obviously using the repair network and obviously using the benefits of FMG and the services they provide. There's a couple of reasons for that. Clearly, the financial model needs obviously support. The second reason is that enables you to have complete and utter clarity from start to finish in regards to where your claim is going and with the client, and it gives you peace of mind that FMG have got some exceptionally good processes and service in place, and have a pretty rigorous auditing process and behind that to ensure it is fit for purpose and doing what the clients want them to do. Please know, I said this was going to be about half an hour. We've now moved on to the last slide. So now we've got some questions. So if anyone's got any additional questions, can you please obviously just send those through to Andrea, and she'll obviously bring them up to my attention. So the first question we've got, Steve Pugh, copy of presentation of the notes. So yes, that'll be provided to you all. We will share the webinar with you after this, and for anyone else who couldn't attend, as well as a slight enhanced presentation with a little bit more on it, which obviously makes it a little bit easier for you to understand for those who both weren't here and also may have forgotten some of the stuff which was covered off, just so you can see exactly what was said. Stephen, another one there from you said, will there be a formal announcement to clients? Question there in regards to obviously having the flight and the mailer detailing all the bits and pieces. Dave Harrison, Northern Ireland approved repairer not showing on your map. Do you have any over here? And has FMG got an app? I think we've answered the question in regards to the app. Okay. In regards to the approved repairers, we can share that with you afterwards. I have got details of that.
There has been some recent changes in the repair partners within Northern Ireland, hence the absence on that particular map, but I can share those with you.
So, Jackson, do FMG cover theft, fire claims, or just accident management? I'll once again, I stress, it is all claims that can involve a motor policy, regardless of what the accident is. Thanks for your question. Do you handle claims where there is no damage to the insured, or do we have to triage those to insurer direct in order to report? I'll let you use that one, Matthew.
We can capture all claims regardless of any incidents. We will just simply capture that as a reference-only claim in our systems without any repair work to subsequently follow.
Well, I'll just try and get another one of these questions through. Won't be a second there.
Yes, partners. This is again in response to Don Campbell's question around genuine manufacturer parts used on repairs. That would be our standard approach across the network, across our client base, unless specifically advised that a particular policyholder or our client was happy to use anything other. But the large majority, 99% plus, will use genuine manufacturer parts.
Question, so I'm not too sure where this is from, but courtesy cars, did your vans were included?
At some of our repair locations, not all of the repair locations. I can share with you the latest detail on where those are and how many courtesy vans are available.
If the insured has a strong dislike to a repairer, can they use an alternative? What we need to do, understand on the case-by-case area there, Don. I appreciate some of your clients are quite strong-minded, but yeah, I think we can have a conversation around that and understand it and try and create some alternatives for you. Are tractors regarded as standard or special types? What can you do for tractors and anything that sits outside the norm?
I think our current client base within our broker team has got a variety of different vehicle types, of which some are agricultural vehicles. I see no reasons why we can't facilitate a process, but if there's a large number of vehicles for a particular policyholder, I'd suggest that we pick that up separately.
Question from Russell Jackson. What about unrecovered thefts? Do they deal with these, i.e. calculating vehicle values from docs available history? So ultimately when it comes to, yes, they would be covered by this facility, Russell, as an answer to your initial question. In regards to calculating vehicle values and helping with that, well, there's a process every client will have to go through in regards to evidencing the loss and the relevant documentation. The advantage of using FMG is having their own in-house engineers will ensure themselves will be coming up with a valuation for the vehicle. We can use services of FMG to obviously validate whether or not that's a fair and reasonable value and where appropriate.
And we use a number of tools, including Glasses Guide, which some of you may be familiar with, which provides again with a further external benchmark as to the true value of that particular vehicle.
We've pretty much got all the questions covered. Is there anything else? Seconds.
It's just, I sent you a few questions, but I sent them to you a mistake. I didn't catch the bit about forwarding them on to Angela.
That's fine. I can find those here if you like. So thank you, Stuart. Do you want to just go on mute? Just give me the feedback.
Yeah.
Go through those. Cheers.
Yeah.
Can I ask what's provided, including a like-for-like on commercial vehicles? Fault basis, then certainly that is the case. On a fault basis, once again, that's a little bit more difficult to accommodate, but I'm not sure if you want to add anything additional on that. No.
I can add at this stage, unfortunately, we're always continuing to explore the marketplace in terms of like-for-like replacement solutions for fault circumstances. So as and when we've got anything more significant to update, we'll share that with Alistair to distribute to the team.
Second, the other is there, Stuart. Stuart, will the incident summary info be recognised by insurers with respect to negotiating on claims at renewal stage that may potentially have a large reserve but projected final case, final loss, and underwriters basing terms on the reserve? I think it's a difficult one, Stuart, because I think what you've got to appreciate is FMG are dealing with the insured's losses here. So we'll certainly have good details in regards to the total loss of the vehicle or what the repair costs are. What we'll not have sight of is what the third-party personal injury damages potentially is or otherwise. What it will do, though, is it will enable you to get a really good handle of what type of claims you've got, who's in the claims, the type of losses that are happening. That in itself, yes, would be quite valuable in regards to negotiating renewals with insurers. However, I think you're going to be careful about taking into account the total cost there in regards to whether or not that's relevant or not to how the insurers can do, obviously, provide renewal terms. Question from David Harrison. Thank you, David. What vehicle weight does FMG deal with, or is it up to 7.5 tonne or higher?
Deal with higher vehicle weight than 7.5 tonne. Again, if there's any real specialist requirements, we just encourage you to disclose that to us beforehand to make sure that we're effectively managing those as best as we can.
I mean, I think I say pretty much 99.99% of all vehicles that we have insured will be fine. I think as it currently sits through Momentum, there is close to 9,500 vehicles insured. And going through those vehicles, there's only very, very limited situations where I can see that is potentially a problem. And if we ever get ourselves in a situation where we are presented with an issue, FMG are incredibly proactive in regards to identifying that quickly, notifying us of that, ensuring the customer is completely and utterly looked after in the meantime, and then for us to navigate and work out the best course of action behind the scenes. I keep getting reminded of, I've had it reminded to me twice, is FMG are based up in Huddersfield, got it right.
Yeah.
And they are holding an open day in September, late September it looks, where we will be going up and seeing them and have open for you to come up and have a look around if you want to and sort of get a bit of a feel for how they operate on a day-to-day basis. So an invitation will be coming around about that very, very shortly. So on the basis, I think that is all the questions. I'd just like to say once again, oh, hang on a second, I have some more, sorry. Buildings from the body shop, will it need to be added to the existing policy? Or underline? Go on.
Basically, the body shop will insure the vehicle unless the criteria of the driver or the driver doesn't fit the body shop's criteria. So be a young driver or something like that. But otherwise, they tend to insure the vehicles themselves.
And does this go live at renewal or from now? I think it goes live from the 1st of September. So from the 1st of September, FMG will be manned to our phone and effectively deal with the claims. Obviously, it's up to you to obviously notify your clients and share the information and making sure that obviously they know where to go in the event of a loss. Rachel, go into anything else there? Yeah, any elements of FMG take our existing claims? No. So any existing claims that are in place will continue half hour. It's only for new notifications. Still personal injuries as well as a result of the claim? Yes, they do. They have a legal team in place which ultimately will support that. And I think that's it. So thanks again. I appreciate your patience at the start and your time waiting for all the questions to go through. If there are questions, obviously, after this, please do not hesitate in giving me a call direct. I'm around all week. And next week, look forward to catching up with you all very, very soon. Thanks very much for your time. Cheers.